Hey everyone, welcome to the Tom and Billie Show. We are excited to be with you today to talk about Insightly. This will be a brief introduction on some of its capabilities and how it can better impact your day to day as you PM here for MSC.
So just as a brief overview, we're just going to go over some of the basic functions and really take away three basic rules. Number one, garbage in, garbage out. We're going to get exactly out of this what we put into it. We're going to go into the conversion workflow, which we're going to delve into that here just a little bit this afternoon. And then, of course, if you see something, do something. Kind of circling back to rule number one with that basic housekeeping.
So Billie, should we only have two rules?
There's three.
Okay. Three rules. Garbage in, garbage out, conversion workflow, and if you see something, do something.
All right, so just to get started here, this is going to be your main dashboard that you'll see when you log into Insightly, and would like to discuss the sidebar here. Home, we're on the home screen. If we go into tasks, these are tasks that you've created for yourself, just your routine day-to-day checklist of things that you need to complete. Over on the side here is where you can see those checked off. You can see that I've got some overdue tasks here, what I've got coming up next week, and then tasks that are a little bit farther out. Organizations, we can delve into those a little bit. You can see here, this is into all organizations. Leads, this is where you'll see your lead dashboard. These are going to be issued from the company, coming from either Ryan or Jamie in support, or coming from Dennis. Opportunities, we'll delve into these a little bit more here. Projects.
And this is really their stepping stones, right?
Correct. Yep.
So as the company takes and issues a lead, really we build upon that to fill out our opportunity file, and then we build even more once we have a project, and everything is going to be anything that you have within your lead file will be moved over into your opportunity file, and then it will also be captured in your project. So you never lose any information. You're constantly compiling.
Right, and this is just a quick way to navigate to your different screens, your sidebar. So you'll live pretty regular in that. The calendar actually is shared. You can see over here on the side. This is what Dennis is going to use for scheduling appointments for you, so that we no longer have the hiccup where he schedules an appointment and we don't have time, or we're going to be somewhere else. As long as you're keeping your calendar up to date, Dennis will know when he can schedule you, and you can see over here that we'll all have our calendars open to look at. But your main bar that you're going to spend a lot of time in to navigate Insightly is going to be your search bar. This acts just like Google. You can see here as I click in the window, it shows some of the most recent items that I've clicked on, but you can search anything that you would find in QuickBooks. As far as an organization goes, you start typing in there, it's going to pull it up.
Yeah, which is so great compared to QuickBooks.
Yes,
right.
Yes. That actually a search function that actually works. So let's look for Gestamp. I want to go through how the historical data is compiled, so you can actually see an opportunity move through to a project and get closed out, and just kind of give you an opportunity to visualize what it's going to look like as you're using it. So we'll go to Gestamp.
And let's talk through what's on the screen right now. So you can see that there's, go right here. See these little icons next to them, which correspond to the icons on your sidebar. So anything with a check mark is going to be a task. And then the little building is going to be organization. So you can very quickly figure out, okay, so I'm in a project. That's what I'm looking for, is a project. So, if that's the case, then I'd be looking for this little hammer over here. But for this particular purpose, we're going to be looking at an opportunity. Is that correct?
Correct. So what you're seeing here is anything that's in Insightly right now, just in a brief little snapshot that has Gestamp attached to it. Right. So what we're looking for is we're just going to go and check out the Gestamp Lapeer plant. So here we are. This is your main details page. You can see details here. Gestamp, you can see that the logo has been added. We can get into that later. The website, you can navigate to it quickly. LinkedIn, if you wanted to go to their LinkedIn page, that information has been entered in there. Address, so on and so forth. As we delve a little bit deeper, these functions are going to appear: related, activities, and news. These main three functions are going to actually be visible on your opportunity page and on your project page, and we're going to move into those. So under related, you have quick navigation tools here, contacts that are associated with Gestamp, opportunities that are associated with that organization, the projects, and then if you had other organizations associated with it, this would be important for general contractors. Right.
Sure.
So you can see Ed Marks is our main contact there. If you hover over it, you can see his contact information. And here we can see an opportunity. We have the target, so we know that's an opportunity. We have a value that was associated with that, and that's currently 1. So let's go into an opportunity.
I'd like to take a minute, just sit right here. How it became the okay. Anyways, Gestamp. If you look at the top under opportunity, you can see that we have Billie's organized all of his titles in a certain way, which is something that we're going to do as a company. We're going to take the project, then we're going to put a hyphen, and then we're going to put the project name, which is down the road, it is really going to make things clear for us when we're looking for projects, because we may have, under Gestamp, there are going to be several different projects over the course of the years, right? Or maybe we have, crap.
Yeah. What Tom's trying to get to here as he removes his foot from his mouth is that he's trying to say that at a glance, you'll be able to see what it is that you're trying to find, and that's what this needs to be, is something that's quick and easy and makes your life easier, so you can catch things at a glance. So when you name an opportunity, you'll see that it's the company name, hyphen, and then the project.
Perfect.
And that'll be standardized.
I'm glad I said that so well. Thank you.
But you can see here that we've got our job flow. So the first part of an opportunity is obviously going to be your site visit. Then once you've given them an estimate, it's going to move to a proposal. And then after that, maybe you get into a little bit of back and forth. It would move into negotiation, which is kind of just a broad brush, but we haven't quite closed it yet. And then, of course, here it's either going to be won or lost to move it into a project.
If you were to hover over that first check mark again, site survey. So the office is going to issue a lead, and once we take that lead and we're actually scheduling a site survey, then we're going to consider that now this is an opportunity.
Correct.
So that's kind of that's the kicker for an opportunity, is going to visit the site.
So now let's look at the things that are associated with the opportunity. This is where Insightly really becomes a powerful tool for PMs, because it's putting all the things that we're already doing into one bucket. Right? So these are all things that we already do as good best practices. We take good notes, we have email correspondence, and we have our Evernote. Right? So this is just going to compile this in a nice, neat, tidy bucket. So again, you see these tabs here: details, related, and activity. So within the opportunity, underneath related, we start to see some of the life of the project start to take place. Here's the projects that are associated with the organization, with Gestamp, with the Lapeer plant. Here's some notes that I've added to it. And here are some of the files. This is probably one of the more powerful functions that I've found with Insightly, is the ability, we've detailed these to where you can put your files and actually name them. But if we go into, let's go into one of the projects here. Related. You can see that we have our Evernote is in the system. If we click on the Evernote, we can quickly go into the file and see that our Evernote files are in that one nice neat little file. All the files have actually got the costing sheets that are associated with it, the purchase order, estimates that are attached to it. Real slick here to be able to go in and actually have your costing sheets that are associated with the project, and beautiful to be able to access these on a tablet or on your phone from anywhere, not have to go dig in a dusty shoebox.
Yeah, it's nice to see the whole life cycle of the project.
Correct.
From when it was issued as a lead to all of the documentation that came along with that is all in one nice file cabinet.
Right. So here we're in the project, so you can see that the project has its own workflow. So
when does a project start?
Project starts once you've had a PO issued.
Okay, so
Right.
so site visit, any of that correspondence, emails that are going back and forth, phone calls, whatnot. It does all of that's still going to be captured in opportunities.
Correct.
Until the customer says, "Hey, here's you've got the job. Here's a purchase order. We're sending that on over in the contract."
You got it.
Then we take our opportunity and we push a magic button,
Yep.
which converts it over to this new pipeline.
Correct.
And all of that information has moved right on over to this.
Follows it.
Good.
Correct.
So I don't have to go back and drop it in another folder.
No, all associated with it. That's
Beautiful.
Good question. So then we've got our workflow for a project. So purchase order is issued. We get the project scheduled. The work order is complete. The whips are delivered. We kick off the job. The work is finished. The project is invoiced. It's costed. And then we close the project. Yeah. We'll delve into some of the deeper functions on how we move into the different portions of the workflow and attaching files. Email, just real briefly, everybody asks, is this going to be my email? Yes. In order to capture email correspondence that you want to have associated, in this case it would be with the project, you just simply copy the email address, and then you would put that into your blind copy of the email that you're sending or replying to. You can also use that to forward. And where you would see that land would be in your activity. And you can actually see that an email had been sent here. I felt like this was an important one to capture, so I captured that email, and here's the email.
Excellent.
Yep. So a nice way to keep all that, again.
So every project, then, an individual project has its own email address.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So an email address is attached to either a project, and you see that under details, and then of course you can see those in your opportunity as well. Let's just go to a different opportunity. This is for the Blue Water Inn. You can see here that I've got an email address, which is a completely separate email address that's associated with this opportunity.
And you just copy it, paste it in your blind copy for your email, and it'll file it right into that activity page.
Correct. Yeah, you can see that this one is still in the negotiation phase. I feel like I've got a 60% opportunity to win that. Here's your dollar amount that's associated with that. You can see that this is a restaurant category. All of these, the categories have all been tailored. So this is very specific to MSC.
Yeah, something I love about this, which I've just noticed, is it says this is 90 days now in this negotiation stage.
Correct.
So it's prompting you with, hey, here's how long you've been working on this particular thing. You're going to want to make sure that you touch base with that customer again, right? Yeah. And do you set up a reminder for yourself?
You can.
In order to do
Actually,
that?
that's a great thing that we can look at here. So under activity, another thing that you'll actually see is any activity that's been done. So you can see here that I had an event. So I went there and I actually went through a proposal review. I've had some tasks here just recently that I needed to get some photos over to here. You can see that it's been completed.
Yeah.
But in order to create a task for yourself, you just click on your actions and you can add new task for opportunity, and you just give it a name, and then it's really just quick. You just fill it in there, and then once you've completed that, you would actually see the task show up on your taskbar.
And then the mobile app, which accompanies this, you can have it so your tasks would be right on your home screen.
Correct.
Excellent.
Yep. So you can see your tasks on your home screen. What I've found is that your laptop is really your data entry, and your phone and your tablet become retrieval.
Yeah.
Right. You still have those functions on your laptop and on your phone, but it's a little bit more cumbersome to use it. And while we're on subject here with the tasks, if you want to be able to see your tasks on your calendar, we can do that so where your tasks actually show up on your calendar for you too. I don't have my tasks on my calendar. I only have events, which
Mm-hmm.
are face to face.
Okay.
That way, I think it just keeps it less jumbled up for other people that are looking at it, like Dennis, for instance. But if you wanted to add an event for an organization,
You would basically go to the
same
same
deal,
actions.
same actions, and you would add a new event for organization here.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to put it on your calendar, so that'll show up. And this is for face to face.
Okay, so you're going to assign a date and a time with
Correct. And this is where you really want to, so you have that at a glance, whatever the name of the facility is. So you put Gestamp Lapeer dash site visit.
Okay. Yep.
And that's how Dennis is going to enter it in there for you too, and any notes that you'd want to have. This is really slick too. If you put the location in there, especially for facilities that you're not familiar with getting to, when you open that on your tablet, it has a map icon
GPS
that you can
route.
click.
Nice.
And it just takes you right there. So
yeah,
I
mean they've really thought of everything.
Yeah, this is I've worked with probably a half a dozen different CRMs over the course of my sales professional career, and this is one of the best that I've used. And this is, again, over the last 6 or 8 months, has been tailored to MSC, so it's ready to go.
Good. So let's go back to our three big ticket items. Garbage in, garbage out. That means if you're creating a task or you're adding to an organization's file, you just want to make sure that you detail it the best that you can. Add as much information as you can in, because it only takes a couple more minutes maybe on the front side, but down the road, that's all going to compile and give you a very true picture of what's going on. So garbage in, garbage out. The second thing is our conversion workflow. So if you recall, leads are issued from the office. Once you have a site visit, that is going to be considered our opportunity, and you'll be working within that pipeline. As the customer says, yes, we're ready to do this, and then they issue a purchase order, now we convert it to a project, which is going to walk us all the way through the completion of that project, including change orders. Number 1, garbage in, garbage out. Number 2 is a conversion workflow. And then the last thing, number 3, is if you see something, do something. So if you notice, you're going to have to do housekeeping with this. So as you're working in and out of these fields, just make sure that you're continuing to maintain them. And if there's a new contact that comes about in a facility, then adjust that contact and make sure that you update the information that's in there. Because that'll circle right back around to you're going to get the most out of this based on how much you're putting into it. Those 3 things: garbage in, garbage out, conversion workflow, and if you see something, do something. So that is, that's our time with the Tom and Billie show. We hope this was informational. We're going to, you can contact either of us, and we can help you go ahead and work through this as you become more familiar with the Insightly program.
Thanks.
Thank you.